So in the last step, we defined the application portion of application programming interface. We said the actual apps that we'll be using, and we used biomimicry to come up with 4 different systems: the eukaryotic cell, the planet, a human, and a tree. Those are the different natural systems that will be relating to the applications that we selected. Now, in this video, we're going to be going into the programming aspect of application programming interface. For this process, for this aspect, the real power that we want to bring out is the power that lies within public-private partnerships. We've got a background in civil engineering and understand a lot that it takes to organize and plan everything needed to literally shape a community. So we want to bring that knowledge to people who are creating their own business ecosystem with OS3. So that's the main aspect of this OS3 PI, that's public-private partnerships. The aspect that we want to find more about, the thing that we'll be using to program this entire business ecosystem, we'll be using math and music. And again, this is really an extension of biomimicry because we see those as the universal languages that govern the universe in a sense. And once we find more about that, we're going to take the opportunity to teach people about cymatics. And that's really just seeing how sound creates different shapes. So that's kind of like a meld of math and music. And I don't want to dive too much into it. Don't even worry about it right now. Those can be defaults for you. For this next aspect, we're going into the public aspect of public-private partnerships. So 144.5 PI, you can think of that as the public aspect of your business ecosystem. With this, we're going to be focused on programming centralized institutions. And this next aspect, after writing out centralized institutions, you'll be able to write in exactly how you want to program them. So this is really like the essence of the values that you want to bring into this. For Hue 3, we're going to be using the principles, the laws, and the ideals of Ma'at. This is an ancient Egyptian, like an African, has its roots in Africa, about ways that an individual or a community can govern itself. So that's just how we're going to be using it as we create projects to govern how we see centralized institutions. For 369 MyPI, this is the private aspect, and similar to how we chose cultural institutions for the last little chunk, in this chunk we're going to be diving into programming our family institutions. And we see the family institution as the CEO of our centralized institutions. We see the family institution as the CEO of society, even though it doesn't really get as much focus as it deserves. Whether that's your friends, your groups, whether it's just you, just think about what family means to you. And the aspect that we're going to be using to encode that within Hue 3 is the Tao Te Ching. It's just a great book that goes into the art of living. How to become a master of what you bring to the world. Finally, 432 RPI. This is the partnership aspect of public-private partnership. And it gets a little bit more nuanced into what this aspect that we're working through right now, what it really relates to, how it relates to centralized institutions on a more granular level. At this step, we're diving into the language institutions. Like I said in the previous video, these application programming interfaces is a way for us to translate information. So with this API, we're really encoding the language institution within the planet. And the thing we're going to be using to encode our language institution are the 6 life principles of biomimicry. So in this aspect, everything's a default, but feel free to change the laws, the ideals of Ma'at, Tao Te Ching, and the 6 life principles of biomimicry as you see fit. And then we'll move on to the next step.